Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from... Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note about my tarot readings. They are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Sagittarius, this is for you. Just remember to watch all three so that you get a clearer picture of how these speak to you, which part of you resonates more with my readings. With that said, if you are a continued subby, you know I love you for it. If you are new or just stopping by, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, as you have probably noticed, the monthlies are very late. I don't think they've been this late in probably about 3-4 years, so I'm really sorry, but it's just been a really busy time. So your key to the week at a random pull is the Lovers card, focused on your relationships, on your connections, on your partnerships. Those of you that are in relationships or partnerships, this bodes very well. It suggests that this is where you're putting your focus this week. It kind of feels like as well you're bringing your it's kind of like you're saying, you know what, the relationship is not an option. Everything else is optional. Everything else is something that I can choose to pick up or choose to put down. The relationship is not. It's like you're using that as your foundation, which is actually really nice. For those of you that are single, this kind of suggests that you are open to whatever is coming your way or to whatever the universe wants to bring you. And for all of you Saggies, in a lot of ways, you're going to be looking at what the offers are on the table over this week. But that's about it. It kind of doesn't feel like you're necessarily going one way or the other. You're literally just looking at what the possibilities are. For your actions and options and the rest of your reading, you have the Star card. Beautiful, right? So you are very focused on your future this week, Sagittarius. Now, your sign anyway, being connected to Jupiter, is always very focused on the future. What is next? What is the best that I can do or be or bring into the world? In a lot of ways, this week is going to see you very focused on your own future. It will see you as well, whether you're partnered or single. This is going to see you really looking at your living situation and environment. For some of you, you're literally just considering, right, how do I future-proof the place that I live in? And for others of you, this is about you really coming into that idea of, right, okay, if I'm going to do this, I need to start thinking about where the forever home or town or, you know, city or whatever, where that actually is. You're putting a lot of thought into this as well. And, you know, remember the Star card always gives you a glimpse into the future. Pay attention to what comes up this week. Sorry, itchy eye. All right, for your communications and conversations, you have the Nine of Swords. So this makes sense, right? We've got a Mercury retrograde this week. We're all going to be feeling it. That Nine of Swords kind of suggests that this week you might feel a little bit of angst, and it may very well come across. It's kind of like, you know what, nobody really gets what I'm trying to do. No, it's kind of like this week as well. If you are facing an institution, so for those of you that work for somebody else, if you are having challenges with work, it's likely going to be because this week what you're talking about, what you're saying makes sense. It's just that not everybody is there with you. And unfortunately, you can't shove them, right? It's just going to be a case where this week, your advice, if you work for somebody else, agree to disagree. It's going to be the only way that you can get through this week relatively unscathed. There might be that feeling of, you know what, actually, I feel kind of outside of this or a little bit on the outs, especially for those of you that are working nights. This week could be particularly quite rough or could grate, so just be aware of that. Do whatever you can to fortify or look after your body, you know, and your sanity as well. For those of you that work for yourselves, business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, And this week you are putting in that work. It looks like you are burning the candle at both ends this week. I don't know whether this is because you're working to a deadline or because you've had some new idea that you're kind of like, you know, throwing everything but the kitchen sink at. It's like you're working really hard on something and possibly very late into the night. Again, same thing, you know, just make sure you look after your physical body and your vitality. And then for those of you that are, come on brain, retired or no longer working for any reason, excuse me, this kind of suggests to me that you are, sorry, it's not funny, I don't know why I'm laughing, I think it's because I was yawning but kind of not yawning. This week, the Nine of Swords kind of suggests to me that you may have an opinion on something, especially those of you that have children or grandchildren. This week, you may have an opinion on something that is considered the unpopular decision, the unpopular input. Maybe sometimes, so almost like this week, you're going to be saying something that's not deemed as, you know, well, you know, this is how I choose to do it. And you're like, okay, but the way that you're doing it is wrong. It may come across as an attack this week, and you could kind of end up with this, you know, they feel attacked, you feel attacked, and then it just all turns into a bit of a mess. So find a way to navigate this week, you know, find a way to put your viewpoint across. And I feel like we've actually lost something in this regard. You know, I remember when we were younger, like, you know, I remember everyone sitting around the table and discussing all sorts of stuff. Sometimes it would get heated, sometimes it would not, you know, sometimes it would be great, sometimes there'd be solutions. It's kind of like the modern era has made the whole family unit disparate, and you know, this week you could be trying to recapture that. It just might not come across in the way that you'd hoped. For your money and materials, you have the Hierophant card, and this is, so remember what I said, for those of you that work for somebody else, this is not a week to challenge the status quo. It's not a week to challenge the institution. The reason I say this is it's not about, you know, it's not even about picking your battle. It's about picking the right time to pick the battle. You know, sometimes it's about the timing. It's not about the arsenal or the weapons or any of that. Sometimes it's literally just down to the luck of the draw at the moment or the time that something is happening. Be conscious of that this week. Now, for those of you that are thinking long term about, you know, maybe making a financial application of some sort, this bodes very nicely. What I will say to you though, this is the week to do the research. Remember, we do have a Mercury retrograde. If you absolutely have to sign a contract this week, or you are starting a new job, or maybe you've already put the application and this week you need to finalize it, that's great. Just like I always say, you know, just get that second opinion. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, your throat, your neck, all of your sort of back, what I would call your back upper airways, look after that this week. Oregano oil works wonders. I tell you, one of my friends called it Satan's tears. I did say to him, try this, and he was like, yeah, it's amazing and it works, but damn. Yeah, it's just a really good natural way. Obviously check that you're not allergic, all the rest of it, you know, disclaimer, I'm not a medical pro, but this would be a good week to look after that aspect of your physical health and vitality. When it comes to the home is good this week. I actually feel like there could be, I don't know, I just get this sense that there could be a big debate going on at home, or you're talking about something that is very much connected to your future, and it has something to do with the home as well. So I'll be interested to see what comes up in the comments. And then for your love and relations, you have the Ten of Swords. So, couple of things. First one, 9, 10 of Swords. What do I always say about a run-on of cards? Men will come through numbers from the spirit world. Women will come through words or repeating phrases. This week, if you have somebody in the spirit world that is a man that has passed, he's trying to get a message to you. Pay attention to your dreams, your hunches, any input, or, you know, if you see something that reminds you of an old uncle or a granddad or a father figure, or, do you know what I mean? Like, that's a message for you. When it comes to those of you that are single, if you have been newly seeing somebody, and it looks like some of you have been, this could be the week where you maybe come to the conclusion that actually, you know what, I'm not entirely sure that this is actually going anywhere, or it's going to be what it's going to be. Now, one of the things that you need to remember, we are in a retrograde, so what happens to, you know, when people break up in a retrograde, sometimes they end up getting back together at a later date. Just something to be aware of. For those of you that are in relationships, something this week you and your partner collectively are calling quits on. There's something that you're both saying, this has gone as far as we're allowing it to go. You know, this is, it kind of feels like you're collectively putting your foot down. So you and your partner are both saying no. And then for a very select few of you, you will know if I'm talking to you, because you'll be hearing this and be like either foaming at the mouth, throwing something at the screen. Remember, if you throw something at the screen, you're not hurting me, you're hurting whatever device you're on. I often say that to people in readings, you know, just the messenger, don't hurt me, or don't try, because you're going to break whatever. For a select few of you, this may very well be the week where something about your relationship, if not the relationship itself, does come to an end. I say this because your Hierophant card can sometimes represent the institution of your marriage. You couple that with the Ten of Swords, this is literally an end, a completion of some sort. So, like I said, for a very select few of you, this could be the end of a relationship. With that said, I wish you all an abundance of all of that good stuff. I hope you have a week where you really figure some stuff out on a personal level. For the most part, like I said, I think you're going to be all right. There's just a few things that you probably need to think of in the way that you navigate here. All right, take care, and I will speak to you soon.